Okay, so the president was out again today calling for direct payments to the people, and he wants it done now. And before you say anything, no, this is not about the $2,000 stimulus check we've been talking about for the last week and a half. This is a completely separate payment, a totally different pot of money that could be coming directly to Americans instead of going to, well, big insurance companies. I'm going to show you exactly what he posted on Truth Social this morning. I'm going to explain what this actually means for your wallet, and I'm going to break down whether this is realistic or just political talk. Because here's the thing, if you've been paying attention this year, the president has called for multiple different payments: dividends, rebates, stimulus checks, and now this. So let's figure out what's real and what you need to know. I read through all the details so you don't have to. Let's dive in. All right, so here's what happened. Here's what the president posted on Truth Social this morning, and I'm going to put this up on the screen right now so you can read it for yourself, calling on lawmakers to send payments directly to the American people instead of to insurance companies. Now, to understand what he's talking about, we need to go back to October and the first half of November. Remember the government shutdown? 43 days. That's how long the government was shut down. And the biggest thing they were fighting about, ACA subsidies, the Affordable Care Act subsidies, Obamacare. Basically, here's how it currently works. Over the last several years, there have been these huge subsidies that lower premiums for people who get their health coverage through the ACA marketplace. We're talking billions and billions of dollars. But here's the thing, that money doesn't go to you. It goes directly to the big insurance providers. The government cuts checks to the insurance companies, and those companies are supposed to lower your premiums. What the president is saying in his post is basically this: no, we're not sending money to these big insurance companies who've been ripping people off for years. We want that money to go directly to the people who are getting healthy care coverage through the ACA. So instead of giving subsidies to healthcare providers, they want to cut checks directly to you and let you do the shopping yourself. Let you pocket that money and use it however you see fit, whether that's buying insurance somewhere else or just having that cash in your hand. Now, I need to make something crystal clear here because I know this is going to confuse people. This is not the $2,000 payment. This is totally separate. The $2,000 dividend, stimulus, rebate, whatever you want to call it, that's a different thing entirely. That's supposed to be a direct payment to Americans, just as a stimulus check. Period. We've been talking about that for weeks. This ACA payment situation is on top of that. This is a separate pool of money that would go to people who currently use Obamacare or the ACA for their health insurance. So if you're one of the millions of people getting coverage through the ACA marketplace, this would be another way they're trying to get money into your pocket. These are two totally different payments. Don't let anyone tell you this replaces the $2,000. It doesn't. So let's talk about who would actually receive these payments if this goes through. This would specifically go to people who currently get their health insurance through the ACA marketplace, Obamacare. If you're buying insurance through healthcare.gov or your state's ACA exchange, this would apply to you. We're talking about millions and millions of Americans. According to recent data, about 21 million people are enrolled in ACA marketplace plans. So this isn't a small group of people. Now, how much money would you get? The president didn't specify that in his post, and honestly, it's going to vary based on your individual situation, your household size, your family composition, the premiums you're currently paying. It could be a few hundred, it could be a few thousand. We just don't know yet. But here's what we do know. Right now, the government is spending billions on these subsidies to insurance companies. That money could theoretically be redirected straight to you instead. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather have money in my bank account than in the pockets of big insurance providers. I think we can all agree on that. The real question is whether you'd be better off with cash in hand versus having your premium subsidized, and that's going to be different for every single person and every family. Okay, let's talk about the reality here. Is this actually going to happen? Let's be honest about what we're dealing with. First, Congress has to approve this. And remember, this issue literally shut down the government for 43 days. 43 days of arguing about ACA subsidies. This wasn't a minor disagreement. Lawmakers were deeply divided on this. So the question is, can they come together on this? Can they reach an agreement? Can they figure out how to send money directly to the people instead of to insurance companies? I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you that getting Congress to agree on healthcare policy is like pulling teeth. This is one of the most contentious issues in politics. Second, let's talk about the practical implications. If you currently get subsidized insurance through the ACA and suddenly you're getting cash instead, what does that mean for your coverage? Do you lose your plan? Do you have to shop around and find new insurance? Do premiums go up because the insurance companies aren't getting those government payments anymore? These are real questions that would need answers. And for someone who's dealing with a serious health condition and has doctors they trust and prescriptions they rely on, getting a check in the mail might sound good in theory, but could be a nightmare in practice if it means losing coverage. Third, the timing. Even if this passed tomorrow, which it won't, implementing a whole new system of direct payments to millions of Americans would take time. The infrastructure would need to be built. We're not talking about weeks. We're talking about months, at minimum. Here's what I find really interesting about all of this. If you've been paying attention this year, the president has consistently advocated for multiple forms of direct payments to Americans. We've heard about the $2,000 stimulus payments. We've heard about tariff revenue dividends. We've heard about rebates. And now this redirecting ACA subsidies directly to people instead of to insurance companies. There seems to be a clear pattern here. Put money directly in people's hands. Rather than filtering it through corporations or government programs, let people make their own decisions about how to spend that money. Now, whether you think that's a good policy or a bad policy probably depends on your political views, but what's clear is that there's an agenda here focused on direct payments. The challenge is getting Congress on board because every one of these proposals costs money, a lot of money, and there's significant concern about adding to the national deficit, especially when we're already dealing with record levels of debt. But here's the other side of that argument. If the government is already spending billions on ACA subsidies, and you're just redirecting where that money goes, you're not necessarily adding to the deficit. You're just changing the delivery mechanism. The question becomes, what's more effective? Giving money to insurance companies to lower premiums or giving money directly to consumers and letting them shop around for the best deal? That's an economic and philosophical debate that reasonable people can disagree on. All right, so what should you actually do with this information? First, if you get insurance through the ACA, keep paying attention to this story. This could directly affect you, but don't make any decisions based on money that isn't in your account yet. Don't drop your coverage. Don't stop paying premiums until something is actually passed and signed into law. Assume nothing changes. Second, if you're on Medicare, you're probably not affected by this particular proposal since it's specifically about ACA marketplace plans. But you do need to handle your annual enrollment situation ASAP. You've got about 2 weeks left. Don't get caught with a plan that doesn't cover what you need. Third, stay informed but stay skeptical. There are a lot of proposals floating around right now. Some will happen, some won't. Don't count on money that hasn't been approved yet. Hope for the best. Plan for what you know is certain. Fourth, if you're struggling with healthcare costs right now, look into what assistance is available today. Many states have additional programs. Nonprofits offer help with prescription costs. Community health centers provide care on a sliding scale. Don't wait for a maybe payment when there might be help available right now. Let me clarify one more time because I know this is confusing. We're potentially looking at two separate payments here. Payment 1, the $2,000 stimulus dividend rebate that would go to most Americans regardless of their insurance situation. This has been discussed for weeks. It's not law yet, but it's been a consistent talking point. Payment 2, this ACA subsidy redirection, that would specifically go to people with ACA marketplace insurance instead of those subsidies going to insurance companies. If you have ACA insurance and both of these happen, you could theoretically get both payments. They're not connected. They're separate pots of money from separate programs. But, and this is important, neither one is guaranteed yet. Both require congressional approval. Both have significant opposition. Both face practical implementation challenges. So, yes, there's potential for more money to reach Americans directly, but we're still in the proposal stage for both of these things. Look, I know healthcare and insurance are frustrating topics. I know dealing with coverage and premiums and deductibles and all of it is exhausting. And I know that when you hear about potential payments, it's easy to get either really excited or really cynical, depending on your personality. Here's my take. The fact that there's consistent advocacy at the highest levels for direct payments to Americans is meaningful. It creates pressure. It keeps these issues in the conversation whether or not any specific proposal becomes reality. The general direction seems clear. There's political will to get more money directly into people's hands. But we've also seen countless proposals over the years that sounded great and went nowhere. So I'm cautiously optimistic but realistic. What I'm going to do is keep watching this closely. The moment there's concrete movement, when Congress votes, when bills get signed, when payment dates get announced, I'll make a video immediately breaking it down for you. If you want to make sure you see those updates, hit the subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications because YouTube doesn't always show you videos from channels you're subscribed to unless you specifically tell it you want to see them. I also have videos up right now about other assistance programs that are available today. Not proposals, but actual help you can access right now. If you need help with food, utilities, rent, medical bills, go watch those videos. They're in the description and the cards above. Drop a comment below and let me know. Would you rather have ACA subsidies go directly to you as cash, or do you prefer the current system where they lower your premiums? I'm genuinely curious what you think. Thanks for watching. Share this video if you found it helpful. Stay tuned because there's a lot happening right now. It's a weird time, and I'll keep you posted on every development with money, checks, payments, proposals, all of it. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next